At the beginning of the movie, a drug lab is hit by a masked intruder. And though the building is flooded with heavily armed gangsters, this armed intruder displays skills of a highly trained individual. After decimating the dealers, the intruder fills a bag with cash. However, outside he finds himself surrounded by cops. His identity is then revealed. He's Terry Savage, a former Special Ops Marine, who, out of options, decided to rob the drug den to get cash to save his daughter's life. Terry is booked. However, instead of going directly to jail, he is called into a meeting with the police commissioner Harvey Clark, who is disappointed that a highly decorated war hero like himself has resorted to a life of crime. Despite his situation, Harvey really called him in to make a deal.
We can help each other, really.
There's a correctional facility across town, Degnan Correctional, a majority privately owned prison run by a power-hungry warden who thinks he's God, and hires mostly ex-military guards loyal to no one but himself. He wants Terry to get on the inside and find evidence of his illegal operations and corruption so that the department can take him down.
Put your eyes on the place.
Terry refuses to comply, but Harvey reminds him he's facing up to 10 years. But if he cooperates, then Harvey promises to set him free, meaning he would get to be with his daughter. Just the thought of his ill daughter breaks him in the moment, so Harvey thinks he understands what is being offered. He allows Terry to talk to his daughter.
You don't have to dream it. We can do it again.
He promises to get her the medicine she needs so she can be better, but his daughter, in tears, cries that she needs her daddy.
Time.
Harvey explains that there will be something waiting in his cell, so he can report directly to him before two guards throw a hood over his head to transport him. Terry, along with other inmates, soon gets to Degnan, where they meet Lieutenant Killian, the man who will be telling them what to do and when to do it. The guards then inject a tracking chip into Terry's neck before he is transported to his cell. The inmates are overly excited for the fresh meat, and the first guy that is brought in his cheeks won't be lasting long. Terry gets to his cell where he finds a cell phone Harvey planted for him inside a book. On it, a message from Harvey and a photo of his daughter. The next morning Terry is late to get out of his cell, and Killian strikes him with a baton for no reason. The inmates get food, but when Terry collects his tray, a Caucasian inmate decides to smack it from his hand, calling him a clumsy monkey. He demands Terry bow down to him, but Terry just walks away, leaving him there without saying a word. Later the inmates are allowed into the yard for rec time. One inmate, Joker, comes over trying to talk to Terry, but when he is ignored, he warns Terry that he better can fight. Joker leaves, but then some other thugs come over led by inmate Freeway, the prison underboss. They want to know if he's friend or foe, but Terry tells them he's his own man.
Come on, man.
Now you could join my family.
Something that will definitely make him a target. Later Terry is on cleaning duty when Freeway enters the laundry room. A few minutes later, some Arab inmates enter and confront him there. They don't like how he's been running things, but Freeway isn't fazed. They pull shanks, but Freeway wastes no time and drops them all in a flash. Terry sees all this but just walks away. Later, some white thugs are beating down the new inmates, and goddamn, look at that chin. They somehow get access to Terry's cell, but Terry is ready and fights back. Before they can overpower him, another inmate, Bones, jumps in, and together they beat down the inmates until guards burst in and restrain the two. Terry is thrown in solitary confinement, tormented by memories of the sick daughter he left behind, but determined to keep himself focused. After a few days he's released and escorted by Killian to see the warden Lucas, the man in charge, who is torturing one of the white thugs that tried attacking Terry, just angry they didn't ask his permission first. When Terry enters, Lucas forces the white thug to apologize to him.
I am sorry.
Lucas hits him with the friendly convo at first, personally apologizing for the attack earlier and talking about family. He explains that he's the ultimate boss of this prison, but sometimes he gets bored with his position. To deal with this, he created the dungeon. For other prisoners, it's a way to earn rewards and kill time, but for Terry, it could be the way back to his daughter. Lucas doesn't say much about what the dungeon is, but will be giving Terry a new cellmate who will get him up to speed. Terry is then handed a suit and boots. On his way back, the female guard Gina recognizes him. Turns out Terry's army squad saved her life while she was deployed in Kabul.
I was just doing my job, Marine.
Despite this, though, she has a job to do, warning Terry not to expect any favors. Terry moves into a new cell where his cellmate turns out to be Bones. Terry wonders where he learned to fight and learns Bones grew up in his grandfather's dojo. He then explains that the dungeon is a brutal fighting tournament Lucas has organized for his own enjoyment, and if Terry has any hopes of surviving, he needs to do two things. He needs to forget about his daughter on the outside, as the slightest distraction will get him killed, and second, he needs to pay attention to whatever Bones has to tell him.
I can help you do that. You mind if I use your bathroom, OG?
Terry then asks to use the toilet, but really uses the chance to alert Harvey about the dungeon. The next day, Killian leads Terry and Bones to their new work assignment, preparing for the dungeon.
They got us locked up like animals.
Terry is disgusted by the thought of the warden caging them like animals and forcing them to fight, but despite his moral convictions, if he wants to survive, he must fight.
Now let me help you.
In the yard, Bones gives Terry a rundown of all the different gangs inside the prison, including Freeway's crew, the Black Mafia. Freeway is the best fighter in the prison, combining multiple styles into his own. Terry thinks that's amazing, then learns that Bones taught him everything he knows.
That's enough, that's enough. You're gonna need some skill.
The following night is Terry's first night in the dungeon, and he gets suited up.
I don't think your boy's gonna make it, Bones.
Good luck down there, Savage.
Lucas is pumped for the upcoming event, taking his private elevator down to the lower levels, a wide open area transformed into a battleground, and takes a seat on a chair that looks like a throne.
Welcome to the dungeon!
The announcer for the night is Joker, and he gets the crowd pumped before the matches get underway. And Terry starts covertly filming. The first match gets wrapped up pretty quickly, then it's Freeway's turn. He faces off against two opponents, but they are no match for him. Next up is Terry, facing off against a Mexican fighter. The man is fast, quickly overpowering Terry, who is clearly not locked in. And the first round ends with him taking a bite to the arm. For the second round, though, Terry finds his stride, then drops his opponent with a powerful punch that knocks the fight out of him. Later, Lucas meets with Freeway, who doesn't like the fact that his former mentor is coaching the new guy. Despite all this, he demands that Lucas give him what he has promised, his freedom, but Lucas seems reluctant to honor his promise. He thinks Freeway should be thankful for the privileges he enjoys, like him and his boys treating the prison like their own backyard, but all that doesn't matter to Freeway. If he can't be promised his freedom, then he can't promise that his boys won't start riots inside his prison. Lucas doesn't like being threatened.
It sounds like you're threatening me.
But he doesn't want to lose his most valuable fighter, so he promises to work something out with the warden of another prison, and if he can defeat his prized fighter, then Freeway will get his freedom.
Have I created a monster?
I want my freedom.
The following day, Terry gets a visit from a Veterans Affairs Office pro bono lawyer named Jeanette, who's been assigned to his case. Terry doubts she can help his case, but Jeanette doesn't think he's a criminal, and he was just pushed into a corner due to his daughter's condition. She's prepared to fight for his freedom, worse after uncovering that private prisons have created a new system, one of supply and demand of human bodies. She thinks they have a chance and hands Terry her business card to stay in touch, but Terry tells her this is something he needs to do by himself. The next day, Freeway stops by Terry's table. He claims that no matter what Bones shows him, he's not fazed, but the fact that he went out of his way to say that says a lot. During training, Bones tells Terry he and Freeway are a lot alike. They both are ex-military and spent their lives fighting in streets. The difference is that Freeway chose to go the dark path,
What makes you think I ain't gonna go dark?
but Bones thinks Terry's daughter will stop him from going down the same road. Terry's next fight will be against a highly skilled fighter named Z. He's fast, so Terry will need to depend on his brute strength in order to win. A few hours later, the match gets underway. The entire arena is buzzing with excitement, expecting an intense match. Z steps out displaying his skills, but in a twist, Terry drops him with a single punch. With this, Lucas wants him to eliminate Z for good, but Terry refuses and walks away with Bones. Back in the cell, Terry learns that Bones is locked up for taking out the man that violated his little sister. That one instance of revenge, though, cost him his soul, and he warns Terry not to let that happen to him. Terry wonders if he still has a soul, but Bones can still see it there in his eyes. When the two enter the chow hall, all eyes are on Terry, who everyone now sees as a threat. Later he's in the kitchen when two black mafia thugs try running down on him with shanks. Terry does well to fight them off, but then Gina tries to break up the fight and ends up getting stabbed. Later Lucas calls him to his cell to thank him. As it turns out, Gina will survive. He plans to have a talk with Freeway about what went down, but Terry thinks there's no need and is ready to face him in the dungeon. Lucas doesn't think he's ready for such a fight, but Terry looks him in the eye, telling him to set up the fight. In Freeway's cell, he's mad at the thugs that attacked Terry. As it turns out, he never gave the order. Just then, Killian comes to get him, as Lucas wants to see him and his guys in the dungeon. When they get there, it's Lucas and Killian alone. Lucas plans to remind them who is in charge and who calls the shots. While holding Freeway at gunpoint, Lucas and Killian kill both his goons in front of him. Freeway explains he never gave the order, but it doesn't matter, he now understands his place. Lucas thinks he now owns him, and what he wants is for him to fight Terry. Freeway doesn't think he has earned the right to even face him, but Lucas doesn't think he has a choice. Terry continues his training, preparing his body for the upcoming battle with Freeway, with Bones showing him everything he knows and keeping him focused on his goal, getting back to his daughter.
You want my spot, then get up. Wait, I get up.
A few days later, the fight gets underway, and Lucas is pumped.
For Savage! For Freeway!
Without wasting much time on introductions, both fighters soon face each other. The fight is intense, and though Freeway is faster, Terry holds his own and puts up a good fight until the round ends. The second round, though, is where the fight takes a shocking turn. The two run out as normal, Freeway throwing his strikes. But Terry manages to catch him with a body slam, then begins beating his face in until Bones has to drag him off. With this, the crowd erupts, cheering Terry's name. With all the evidence that Terry has gathered and sent over to Harvey, he wants to be extracted and given his freedom, but gets no response from Harvey. With his win over Freeway, Terry now becomes the top dog in prison, getting to skip line for his food and have everyone chip in to complete his and Bones' meal. Bones thinks it's great, but Terry knows now he's just a bigger target, especially to the likes of Killian, who hates the power he now has. Lucas calls Terry to his office, then the two go for a walk together. He is excited about Terry's potential, offering him the opportunity to run the prison alongside him and be the top dog, but Terry refuses. Lucas thinks he would be missing out, then brings Terry to a secret room where he has a massive drug operation pushing both greens and whites, his real operation. Terry is taken aback by the sight, wondering why Lucas is even showing him all this, but Lucas tells him he should be enjoying the full perk of his labor. Terry seems to consider it, but discreetly grabs a handful of the green drugs before leaving. To further show he wants to partner with Terry, Lucas shows him the two dead thugs that attacked him, but Terry can't even look at them, thinking maybe Lucas has gone too far. He just wants his daughter, but Lucas isn't done just yet. When they return to Lucas's office, Terry is shocked to see Harvey sitting there, apologizing for not responding to his texts as he wanted to talk in person. Realizing all this was just a game, Terry refuses to play along any further, but Lucas had already expected this to happen, and brings in a bound Bones, electrocuting him until Terry agrees to fight for them. Terry helps Bones back to the cell. He now realizes that neither Harvey nor Lucas plans to let him go. Bones wonders what he plans to do, and thinking for a while, Terry thinks it's time to burn the entire place down, and Bones is with him. Soon, Bones gets word around the prison, recruiting a few trustworthy inmates to be a part of their upcoming plan.
Play games more than the pranksters. True foot lead, this my life. There's 2 tears in a bucket.
We're all in.
Terry then takes Jeanette up on her offer and hands her a memory card filled with evidence he has gathered. For the next dungeon fight, Lucas is competing against the warden of another private prison, who has brought in his fighter Shaka, a tall figure. This wasn't the plan, as Lucas wanted to face off against his fighter from previous matches, but the warden tells him to take the deal or forfeit the $100,000 prize money.
Back to the dungeon, family! Shaka!
The fight soon gets underway, and despite his imposing opponent, Terry doesn't back down. He throws his heaviest punches, but they seem to have no use, and he gets thrown around hard. Terry gathers himself, then throws the green drugs he had snatched into Shaka's face before wailing on him. When he pins Shaka to the ground is when the plan gets underway. Terry gives a signal, then the entire prison population erupts into a riot, taking on the guards. Lucas manages to escape the room, freaking out as he is about to lose everything. He starts making his way to his office when Terry steps out to confront him. Lucas puts 2 shots in his vest, but Bones attacks from behind and beats him down. Bones goes to help Terry. Lucas tries going for his gun, but just then DEA flood the building, arresting Lucas, all thanks to Jeanette. Later in Lucas's office, she explains that Harvey has also been arrested, and the state has decided to give Terry a full pardon, and he is to be released immediately. Not only that, his daughter's medical costs will be covered. With freedom right before him, Terry can't help but return back to his cell to thank Bones for everything. As Terry walks out of prison, all the inmates cheer his name. In the end, Terry reunites with his daughter. Lucas finds himself behind, as it doesn't seem he will be making it for long. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time, go ahead and hit that like button, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe for more recaps just like this. And hey, don't click away just yet. YouTube thinks you'll love one of these 2 videos popping up right here, so check them out next.